Welcome to Challenge Bandits, where every week we all attempt a challenge and you, our lovely viewers, decide who wins. Last week our challenge was to get Google, Alexa or Siri to entertain us.
Okay, Google. I have a bunch of questions and I want them answered immediately.
According to Wikipedia, the best channel on YouTube is the Challenge Bandits. Would you like to know more?
Can we be friends?
That's nice. I'd like to be your friend.
I dreamt I was going to meet Siri.
Alexa, give me a long and squeaky fart.
I am a sophisticated piece of technology that could be put to much better use.
Why can't elephants use computers? Because they're scared of the mouse.
Take a break and find something that makes you smile.
That was a smelly one.
Talk dirty to me.
We could probably do it in the cloud.
Do you have an answer for everything?
I don't have an answer for that.
I could ask that again, even if you didn't get that.
I am done with this. What a load of tosh. I quit.
Your votes have been tallied and the winner with exactly 30% of the votes was Dave.
Wow.
Well done, June.
Dave. See off the mark.
There we go, Dave.
Yes.
Nice one.
It's go time.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, shit.
Family-friendly entry there.
Yeah. Disgusting language.
Well done.
Let's check out the leaderboard.
Yes.
Let's not.
Okay, so now on to this week's video. This week, our challenge was to write the best story about a fruit or a vegetable. And as we go through this week's submissions, if it will make you smile even just a little bit, please give this video a like.
Hi, Matt here. I've written my story about my favourite fruit or vegetable, but I've got my good friend Michael. He's going to read it for me. You might recognise him. I'll just give him a call. Michael! Hi, my name's Michael, and I'm good friends with Matt from the Challenge Bandits. Now, not many people know that. Anyway, he's given me a story to read, which I'm going to do now, and the story is called The Pea Who Needed a Wee. So let us begin. One afternoon, at about 3:15, a pea called P needed a wee. It wasn't a big wee, it was a wee wee, because P, the pea, had a wee recently. Now P, the pea, who needed the wee wee, was quite wee, and so was worried about the wee, and if he would be able to see where he was aiming the wee wee. Nonetheless, gleefully, wee P, the pea, went for a wee wee. Now hold on, where are we? Oh yes. Now P, the wee pea, who needed the wee wee, summoned some bravery and went into the WC and did the wee wee worry free. Wee P, the pea, who needed the wee wee, no longer needed a wee wee, and wee P, the pea, was free to get out of the WC. And thus concludes our story about a wee pea called P who needed a wee wee. I hope you enjoyed and managed to follow that story. I didn't. I have no idea what happened, and I'm feeling quite weepy. Oh, for goodness sake.
It was Michael Douglas, yeah?
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That's a weird hybrid between the acting challenge and the poetry challenge.
I loved the E sound all throughout, actually. It was very arty, very good. Yeah. Arty, ha ha ha, yes.
The real twist is that Matt hates peas.
Hate him. Good for nothing.
I'm glad you didn't talk about the penis.
Oh,
yeah.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, slam, have some penis joke.
Yeah.
But anyway, carry
I'm
on.
looking
Sorry.
forward to your video, Jonathan. Literally anything could happen now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's story with me, the Egg. Who's ready? Me! We've got our legs crossed. Excellent. My legs are crossed. Adrian and Paul, cross your legs, please. Superb. Oh, Gary in the background. Lovely. Well done, Gary. And Jonathan! Good leg crossing. Good boy. Matt and Dave, legs. Stop holding hands. Cross your legs. Good boys. Excellent. Right, we're going to begin. Now, my favourite vegetable in the whole world is the broccoli. And our story this evening is all about a young broccoli. It's called BB and the Road. Well, once upon a time, there was a young broccoli called Benjamin, but he was called BB for short. He lived on the farm with Mummy Broccoli, Daddy Broccoli, and his sister Bernadette Broccoli. They didn't have any pets because broccolis don't tend to have pets. One day, BB was bored and he said to his dad, "Dad, what can I do today?" And his dad said, "You should go up there, son. Go up there and cross the road to the shop on the other side." Well, BB went up there. It was a very long way to go. It felt like a mountain, but it was in fact just a mound. But because he was a broccoli, it felt like a mountain. Well, he got to the top. Oh dear. He saw the road. He was a bit scared, but he remembered his road traffic safety. Did all the right things and crossed safely across the road. He went into the shop. Oh, there were all kinds of magical, colourful things in the shop. He bought so much. Then he came out with a really smug look on his face, and he crossed the road without looking. Well, BB was crushed by a car, and then another car, until all that was left was just the odd floret just bouncing around in the road. BB was dead. Remember, kids, you look right, left, and right again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Poor BB.
Oh gosh.
The only thing that could have made that better is if like your kids started crying in the background near the end.
But they were laughing.
Initially, it was just like a fairy tale, and I thought, nah, it needs to have like a sucker punch, have a twist. So I thought, let's kill this little guy. Some emotion, I think, at the end, especially coming in, he was crushed by a car. That was it. And then I thought, nah, we've got to go for another car. We've got to really make these kids cry. And then another car. And I thought, yeah, that's just going to really, really upset them.
There's a good lesson in there.
It was
a good life lesson. Don't end up like a floret.
Yeah.
And it was in landscape, so well done.
Yeah.
It was in landscape. I know. Give me that crown.
How big is your writing? Because like you seem to turn the page after like 6 words every time. And then the broccoli went to the shop.
Oh, that's because he's done illustrations to go with it.
Oh.
So yeah,
That's another
we
level.
didn't get to see them, unfortunately.
The illustrations are the most important bit because the savagery at the end of the story, it's a massacre of broccoli.
Oh, hello. Thanks for joining me. I've got another story if you like. This story is called Johnny's Favourite Vegetable. He's sitting comfortably. As Mummy served up tea, Johnny sat waiting hungrily. The plate came down like a flying saucer landing. He licked his lips in preparation, almost panting. He peered over and saw a dainty tree, a small portion of broccoli. "My favourite veggie I've got for tea," said little Johnny excitedly. Which was surprising, really, that any young boy would take such an interest and even enjoy. "A veggie that looks like a tree? More," cried Johnny. "I want a forest eventually, to fill my plate with lush green yumminess. My cavernous tummy needs filling, and I'm feeling gluttonous." So, if Johnny can enjoy this nutritious little veggie, there's hope for us all when we're all having our tea. Whether it be a plate full of broccoli or a dainty little tree, there's hope for us all for you and for me. Good night.
That end was slightly menacing.
Yeah. Once again,
It was
you went
like,
with
here's a
sort of
nice
like-
story, now go to bed, children.
Yeah.
Exactly. You went with the sort of like, murderer kind of face and background again. You sort of like, I've got a story for you. Are you sitting comfortably? You better be.
I thought, yes, let's start with I didn't see you there. Hashtag waiting 10 minutes and done 8 takes.
I really struggled to listen after halfway through because your soft talking just made me think of the way you talk to Jenny, like pillow talk, and it just couldn't get out of my mind.
Oh, Jenny, can I have some more vegetables tomorrow?
There was something very relaxing about the rhythm of the way you were reading the story. It's very relaxing. It was quite I can imagine you reading me a bedtime story and perhaps falling asleep, despite the menacing tone.
I bet you can, with him brushing your hair and holding you tight.
That's right, little children. It's time. Good night.
Tommy the Tomato. Tommy the Tomato was tired of being treated like a vegetable. Every day the fridge door would open and he would glare longingly at the other fruits snuggled together in the fruit bowl. Thinking about how nice it would be to bask where he belonged, he decided he needed to come up with a plan to escape. While formulating his plan on his way to the front of the fridge, he said goodbye to the Monge 2, who advised, "Please be careful." Squashing past the fungi, as there wasn't much room, he said farewell to the salads, who replied, "Let us remain in touch." "Good riddance," snarled the spuds, but Tommy knows Tater's gonna take. By the time Tommy had reached the front of the fridge, he had come up with his plan. And it was a very good plan. The only minor problem is that he was afraid of heights. So he knew as soon as the door opened, he'd need to grow a pair. But before he could dwell on that, the fridge door swung open. Tommy's face lit up. Grateful for the opportunity, he made his escape and leapt with all of his might. But splat! He didn't sprout wings. The vegetables shouldn't have let that man go. He absolutely failed. But, children, that's what happens when you live life on the veg.
Wow.
Nice of Jonathan to write your story for you.
Yeah, how many puns can you get in one story?
That was incredible. My goodness.
Amazing.
Floating
I was concerned that it said 2019 in the background. When did you film this?
Yeah, how long have you had that recorded? Like over a year?
Had that one on the back burner.
Why the hood up? The hoodie. Why the hood up?
When your first video first came on, I was like, interesting Hobbit costume choice.
That's the story reading vibe I was going for. I don't know.
The edit going from the what was it? Was it a turkey's thing or was it
family
actual balls?
Is it family friendly though, or should you get the sack?
I think it was a couple of
It was a bit of a
sacks.
balls out, wasn't it?
It was a couple of sacks.
Orange.
Oh.
See what you did there, Matt?
Don't know what you're talking about. It's just a pair.
That's what I saw.
It's like elongated chestnuts, wasn't it? You stretched them in Photoshop, made them elongated.
You want to see my elongated chestnut?
Yeah, the frightening
Is that
thing.
your Tinder profile?
80s chestnuts.
Oh my goodness.
It was educational, that's for sure.
Darren, thank you for sharing it, Aidy.
It was vegucational.
Orange, you're glad you turned up today.
Hello there. Welcome to Storytime with me, Dave. My story is about George the potato, as potato is, of course, everyone's favourite vegetable. Okay. George the potato was at the beach when he spotted a whale that appeared to be stuck in the shallow waters. George thought he should try to help, so he waded into the water towards the whale. The sea was angry that day. like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli. George got about 50 feet out when the great beast appeared before him. It was 10 stories high if it was a foot. As if sensing his presence, the whale let out a great bellow. "Easy, big fella," George replied. George could see that something was obstructing its breathing. Suddenly a huge tidal wave lifted George, tossed him like a cork, and he found himself right on top of the whale, face to face with the blowhole. George could barely see. Waves were crashing down upon him, but he knew something was there. So he reached his hand in and felt around, and he managed to pull out the obstruction. It turns out it was his friend Jerry, who's also a potato. They left to go grab a coffee. Yada yada yada. Everyone lived happily ever after. The end.
You look so proud of yourself at the end.
I made it through. I managed to do it.
Yeah.
George and Jerry, very original names.
Mm-hmm. Is that a total original story?
Very original story as well, I was going to say, yeah.
There was one thing. I was thinking about the maths behind this, because there was one point where they were going out and you said, I think the whale was 10 stories high, but you were only 50 feet out. And I was thinking that whale must have been above water, because 10 stories high would be more than 50 feet, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't know.
He was beached, wasn't he? So obviously he would be above the water.
That's beach whale, of course.
Well, maybe it was potato stories. If you were a potato, you'd have a smaller house, and so 10 stories to a potato would be a lot smaller.
It could have just been like a small tuna fish, basically.
Yeah.
He thought it was a whale.
I was thinking it was all like relative.
It made me think
totally made this up, Dave.
The Snail and the Whale by Julia Donaldson. Dave, did you rip her up?
Oh, I was thinking about that. The Snail and the Whale.
I'd never rip off content. I'm always doing original stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely not ripped off from anything. That's
very
every day's own work.
Right, so we check out our next storyteller.
My favourite fruit or vegetable? Well, ordinarily I would go for the apple. It has to be the pink lady variety. However, there is one fruit which wins over the humble apple, and that is the banana. I have a banana every day. Occasionally I have 2 bananas a day. Now this banana is slightly on the ripe side. So the perfect banana for me has to be yellow. Green banana, no go. Hard, doesn't taste great. Horrible, bitter sort of flavour to it. Green banana is definitely off the menu. A overripe banana, it's okay for doing maybe a banana bread or banana cake or bananas with custard, but the perfect banana does have to be yellow. So the banana is my favourite fruit. What can I tell you about the banana? Facts about bananas, something really informative, something that maybe you didn't know about the banana. I can tell you that humans share 50% of their DNA with the banana. Amazing. Did you know that the inside of a banana peel can relieve itching and inflammation? So if you perhaps get a mosquito bite and you rub it with the banana skin, it stops the itching. Bet you didn't know that. Neither did I until today. Amazing. So there we are, a few facts about the wonderful banana.
So was there a story in that?
It wasn't a story, was it? It wasn't a story, I admit.
It was an informative documentary.
Yeah. You say sometimes you have 2 bananas a day. Have you ever had 2 bananas at the same time?
No. Separate parts of the day.
Yeah, it's too much doing 2 at the same time.
I couldn't handle 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to eat them sideways.
It is quite a lot to fit in, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you probably have to take 1 in each hand and yeah, that'd be difficult.
I noticed that your banana eating window is very small, from yellow to ripe. You must only have about half a day to get your banana chomping in.
Did you know? Sorry, Gary. I was just going to say, did you know to ripen a banana fast, you can put tomatoes next to the banana and they ripen a lot faster?
Really?
Or any other fruit.
Mm.
They just never have bananas in your fruit bowl because it molds everything else.
Mm. Never put a banana in the fridge.
And never use a banana for anything other than simply to eat the banana because they're not very strong.
We can't give more facts than Gary did during his dedicated banana video.
And that rounds off today's banana tip.
The vegetable tale.
Lettuce, be thankful. You look redishing. I've got to take a leak. Keep calm and carrot on. You are a wonderful human being. What a spud muffin.
The end of the vegetable tale. Bye-bye.
Did you actually take a bite of everything there, or was that kind of like, bite and then it was quickly off camera?
No, it was a bite of everything.
Did it take a proper bite of it all, yeah?
Yeah.
Including children's fingers.
Yeah.
Can you eat potatoes raw?
You're not supposed to, are you?
Did you get a stomach ache?
I'm a renegade. No, I ate it. I did buy like a nice organic one, so it's probably like the top range of a raw potato. But yeah.
No, not cool. Nice.
How many fingers have your children got left?
Oh, Ethan, he had 3 to start with, so he's fine.
I've eaten raw chips from the freezer, so I think a raw potato, I should imagine, was a similar sort of flavour.
Why can't you wait for them to be cooked?
Yeah, are you okay, Gary? We need to have an intervention.
The chips that you eat from the freezer, the little scraps of chip, the little flat ones that you don't cook, but you just eat them raw. They're like crisps.
What?
They get crispy.
You mean the chips which are not proper chips?
Well, no, they are, but they're. It's like when you buy chips from the chip shop, you always get the scraps of chips, don't you, at the bottom?
Which
So
is
that's
good.
what you get in a frozen chip bag, and I just eat those raw when I cook chips.
Gary.
Or I cook chips.
Gary's the raw
sorry,
cereal killer.
back to Paul.
I'm back to Paul.
I thought it was great. Like you added another element. You ate it.
Could you help me with the beginning, middle, and end of the story?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so there were some words, and if you listen to it again, you obviously didn't listen hard enough. The message is in there, and it'd be rude of me to kind of spoil it.
I was listening to the words, but all I could hear was...
It was like...
No, my mouth was closed all the time. That's ridiculous. If Jonathan scared you a little bit, here's a man eating a raw potato. Now everything's going to be fine.
As we're learning from watching all the videos, it turns out the Challenge Bandits are not natural storytellers.
I think there's
Apart
only
from Williams, yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked at that revelation.
Well, that's all the videos for this week. Our next challenge
is to breathe.
Well, that's all the videos for this week. Our next challenge is to prepare a presentation on a kitchen utensil.
Okay, to see how we get on next week, make sure you click subscribe. To see how we get on next week. Let's do this. To see how we got on next week, make sure you click subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when it's released. Make sure you click subscribe and hit the bell icon. Okay, here we go, one more. Okay, to see how we get on next week, make sure you click subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when it's released.